It is a known fact that the Archons in Genshin are game-changing. For example, Raiden for energy recharge, Nahida for Dendro application, and Furina for damage buff. They're of course very good and significantly improves your gameplay with higher damage and ease of use for your teams. But the thing is, these Archons were never really a must pull. You can certainly go without them, as they are, although slightly worse off, alternatives. For example, if you don't have Zhongli, you can use Layla instead, who I believe has the second best shield in the game. Furina is also quite similar in that you don't always need a damage buffer for your team. For example, Neuvillette can still do fine without Furina. However, looking at Mualani's kit, you can tell that the Pyro Archon is going to be different. Mualani's kit involves her ramming her shark into enemies, and with 3 stacks, unleashing the normal attacks will deal more damage. She works best with vaporized reactions, but you'll soon realize that her best teams feels kinda off. I'm using the team of Emily, Mualani, Zhongli, and Xiangling. Emily sets up the Dendro application, while Xiangling applies Pyro with a skill and burst. This creates the burning reaction. Mualani can then vaporize frequently thanks to the Pyro being kept on the enemy due to the burning reaction. The main problem here is actually Xiangling's kit. Her skill summons Guoba to deal Pyro damage. Thing is, Guoba can only face one direction at any given time, shoots flames only at a short distance, cannot be repositioned unless you reuse Xiangling's skill. This honestly really sucks, since when you or the enemy moves, you're no longer getting any Pyro damage from her. But what about her elemental burst? Her burst is amazing, yes, with the fact that it has high Pyro application and follows the active character. But the burst cost is very high and Xiangling has very poor energy recharge rate, even at 200 plus energy recharge, as you can see for my Xiangling. This is why people always pair her with Bennett, one for the burst snapshot, and second for the battery. However, you don't always need Bennett. Like for Mualani, Bennett is of no use since she scales off HP. This trend is not going to change anytime soon due to the abundance of defense scaling weapons in Natlan, meaning that more characters are likely to scale off defense in Natlan. So now, you're left with Xiangling, who has an unreliable burst and kinda bad skill. The ideal here is to get a character that can easily apply the related element with their skill and non-reliant on their elemental burst if you want better reactions. Unfortunately, the Pyro roster just sucks in that aspect. For example, Deia's field doesn't activate the Pyro enough, has a small radius, and the cooldown is too long. Thoma's not very reliable too, as his constant Pyro application requires his elemental burst, which also has a high energy cost. Xingnian's also not reliable, as a kit needs 2 to 3 enemies for a shield to have the constant Pyro application. In other words, there's actually no good character for off-field and easy Pyro application right now. So, based on the past Archon trends, Archons tend to have a kit whereby they can easily apply the respective element with their elemental skill. Once again, for example, Raiden can launch a coordinated electro attack to apply electro wherever an attack hits. Nahida can apply Dendro using her Dendro camera, and Furina has a salon members to apply Hydro. Hence, it is very likely that Mavuika, the Pyro Archon, will be similar as well, capable of being a sub DPS with an elemental skill that can easily apply Pyro off-field. So, this brings us back to the title of the video. Why is this a dangerous trend? This is because of the aforementioned Pyro characters. None of them can apply Pyro off-field effectively at a low cost. If Mavuika's kit is true to the speculations, she will become a must-pull for strong Pyro-related reactions, especially Vaporize, Melt, and Burgeon. I myself am an Archon collector, so I was going to get Mavuika anyways. This doesn't really affect me as much, But what if you don't want to get her? All I can say is, good luck getting good pyro application. If this trend is true, players are also at risk for the final nation after Natlan, Sneznaya. If you have noticed, Cryo also has the same issue as Pyro. It doesn't have a good off-field Cryo applicator that can use their elemental skill. For example, Rosaria needs her burst and has a high burst cost, same as Kea. Layla's burst cost is lower, but doesn't really give as much Cryo application as you would like. Charlotte's technically works, but her skill is also not as flexible as Nahida's. It is very likely that the Tsaritsa, also known as the Cryo Archon, will fill up that role and become a must pull as well. I just hope that you have saved enough gems for both Mavuika and the Tsaritsa. If you have made it this far, do consider leaving a like and subscribing if you haven't, as it will really help out this small channel to get to its next goal of 10,000 subscribers. Thank you so much and see you soon! If you'd like to see which are the best teams for the 5-star standard banner characters, please click the video on the right. If you'd like to see my other Genshin Impact videos, please click the playlist on the left. Once again, thank you so much for watching and see you again next time. Bye bye!